Hi guys, this is part 2. Sorry, I tend to make long videos, but trying to get a point across, and I do tend to ramble. But I was saying in my last video, even if you might not have a socially recognized talent, as in, winning awards or, getting recognition, there is something you are talented at, and that makes you unique, that makes you a special person. So find that kind of identity outside of the eating disorder. A lot of us who have had eating disorders for a long time, for me, I know I've had an eating disorder for over 15 years. And so I tend to think, well, but what is my identity outside of this perfectionistic little box? I've always, and in the last 3 years, due to how medically severe the eating disorder has gotten, people know me as the girl who doesn't eat very much, or the girl who purges, or the girl who's always going into treatment, the girl who's being hospitalized, the girl who has the medical problems, the girl who doesn't have energy enough to go to school and work. And so people tend to treat me all gently, or they'll say things like, some people who don't understand eating disorders will make comments. I know my best friends in the entire world have said things like, when you eat, it just makes us feel like, and these are their words, it makes us feel like we're opening Christmas presents on Christmas morning. And I'm just like, and I think the important thing is not to let that just go. Not to just like say, okay, that's fine, I'm just going to deal with it, and allow the eating disorder thoughts to run rampant and feel bad about yourself, or continue to have to meet those expectations of, well, that person only sees me eating very little, so I need to keep doing that or else they'll make weird comments. I know that I've dealt with that, and so I identify very much within the eating disorder, but really there's so much more outside of that. And I think one thing is to speak up and to advocate for yourself in making your own identity. If people comment on your physical aspect and your physical appearance, if they comment on your eating behaviors, if they comment on your meal plan, if they comment on how little or how much you're eating, you need to say something. I'm not saying that you need to just be like rude about it, but you need to say, for example, for that example, when they said it makes us feel like you're opening gifts on Christmas morning, my response to that was, hey, I'm really trying to get into recovery, and it makes me feel uncomfortable when you comment on how much or how little I'm eating. And so maybe if you could, I'm working on my meal plan, I'm working with a dietitian, I need you to maybe just not say anything for now, and I will come to you if I need help, and, for support as a friend. But you need to define that. You need to say, please don't comment on my body weight or my physical appearance. I'm trying to be more than that. Because we are so much more than the outer beauty. We are the inner beauty. We have in our own hearts, we have an identity. And I know spiritually, for those of you who are spiritual, we have an identity in Christ. I have said this time again, but 1 Samuel 16:7 says very clearly, I don't have the Bible with me or else I'd read it, flat out, but we have an identity outside of our physical appearance. But basically what 1 Samuel 16:7 says is, don't listen to what man says, mortal man says. God judges by the heart, not by the physical appearance, which mortal man does. And I know that a lot of us, we hear messages all the time, bombarded with messages of lose weight quick, lose weight in a healthy way, even losing weight, just period. Or, you need to look like X celebrity. But that goes down to the whole, everyone has different viewpoints on what is attractive or not, Some people might think that Selma Hayek is very attractive. And then others might look at, very thin women as attractive. And I mean actually attractive. I'm not saying eating disordered attractive. But it's all social and environmental pressure that has, you know, created this viewpoint, and you have this distorted belief, and you have an identity outside of what everyone else is telling you. And the best way, and so basically, one, the way to, you know, start building an identity is, one, first of all, get in to see a treatment team, period. That is the most important thing that you can do. And, you know, I was just discussing this with someone today. You can't just see a dietitian, okay? And I recommend dietitians because nutritionists do not have the experience or the education that a dietitian has. But you can't just see a dietitian, gain the weight, and everything's magically better. We know that because it goes so much deeper than the weight. It goes so much deeper than the physical appearance. And even if you do get to a healthy weight and you're maintaining healthy habits, if you haven't gotten to the root issues, those are going to get to you. And those can send you spiraling very often. So, but on the same aspect, you cannot just continue with therapy. You cannot just go into therapy, be at a low weight, and expect the eating disorder to go away and for you to maintain a very low body weight. Because it has been scientifically shown in studies that if you're at a very low weight, you have a definite potential. If you're not within, at least I believe, 95% of your ideal body weight, you know, as measured by a dietitian, because everyone's ideal body weight is different. We can't just go by BMI that says if you're X height, you must be X weight. There's a big variety. Everyone has different muscle mass, different structure, different body fat. And I know you've all heard that, but I mean, but you know, it really is true. Very much is so, you know. And so, but what I was going to say was they've shown in studies that if you are not within like 95% of ideal body weight, your body is still starved. It's still starved of nutrients, and that means that you're still starved of rational, logical thoughts. And, you know, I know right now my distorted thoughts are completely out of whack, and they're just running rampant, despite being able to talk about things, you know, but I'm not able to rationally apply them to myself at the moment. So basically getting into therapy is the biggest thing, and on top of that, getting into seeing a dietitian so that you can work together with those two. I mean, another thing that you want to do is see a psychiatrist if you have talked with your therapist and you believe that perhaps you have dual diagnoses, basically comorbid issues going on, like depression, bipolar. You want to be able to perhaps try different medications. And it's important to remember, too, that you can't just try a medication and after a week, if it's not helping, just say, screw it, I'm not doing it anymore. You have to, I mean, they've shown that it can take up to 2 months to fully see the potential of a medication. So that's another option, is going to a psychiatrist at the same time as seeing a therapist and a dietitian. So begin to work with your therapist on finding an identity outside of that. Usually therapists can give you good tools and good, you know, activities, you know, outside of school or work where you're identifying, you're making an identity, you know, based on your performance. You just want to do something that you enjoy. And you can do things like, for example, scrapbooking, you know, reading books, becoming really educated on a certain topic that you're passionate about. Not necessarily, you know, going to school and learning about something, but just going and reading about it, you know, picking up books and reading, you know. And warning, you don't want to go and get a whole bunch of eating disorder books and educate yourself on eating disorders, because that's, again, surrounding yourself with an identity in an eating disorder or mental illness. But, you know, also collaging, drawing, you know, going and becoming, you know, really good at belly dancing, you know, yoga, you know, just finding identity in yourself outside of the eating disorder. Second of all, you really want to begin working on the perfectionistic feeling that you're having. Perfectionism